Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you can hear me. We've got the neighbors playing loud music outside, so I think it should be okay. In my head, I'm manifesting that they play this lovely soft music instead of the loud punk they're playing at the moment. So I think it's going to happen while we're recording, so let's see. That's what I'm hearing in my head anyway. But yeah, just an example of you manifesting. Everything that you want is happening every single moment of the day. The thought really just hit home for me, and I'm getting what I want, exactly what I want all the time, and I always have. So this is not a good statement for a lot of people to hear. They immediately get triggered by it. They immediately resent it. Why would we choose to be poor? Why would we choose to have violence in our life? Why would we choose to be unhealthy? Why would I choose for someone to hurt me? And those are the objections that immediately come up when that statement is being made. And I myself used to object to that statement, until I looked at my life and I really, little by little started accepting that I really do create my reality. And this is not for sissies. This game, when you start creating your reality, you accept all of it or none of it, and that takes a little bit of the walls breaking down on my side, in my experience and in the experience of all my clients. It really takes, the walls start crumbling when you really take on board that statement. So what do I mean by that? I just mean that I'm getting what I want. Let's use me as an example. I'm getting exactly what I wanted, when I was, when my son is now a young man, in his mid-20s, a person in his own right. And I've been a single mom for the longest time. When he was very little, his dad was a single dad, I was a single mom, we split up. And I got exactly what I wanted because I kept saying, I'm a single mom. And that's exactly what I got, I got exactly what I wanted when I was retrenched 5 times, because every time I got another job, it was after desperately looking, sending my CV out in my 20s in panic and in fear, having to desperately get another job. And then I started having a philosophy around retrenchment, and that philosophy was, gosh, you can actually make money from retrenchment. I would talk about this with my friends and colleagues. I would say, the trick is, if you get retrenched or furloughed internationally, and if you get a package from the company, 3 months, if you're lucky. Back then it was 6 months, this is now 20 years ago, 6 months, etc. If you get lucky enough to get a year, and if you get another job immediately, then you literally have a year or 6 months or 3 months or 1 month extra income. And I was vibrating so loudly, so strongly with what I was feeling at the moment and what I was thinking. So those ideas had formatted and had crystallized and become my reality, to the point where I started getting retrenched non-stop. I was working in ad agencies at the time. So, 3D is really you painting 3D with your thoughts and your words. You're painting your reality. It's literally a blank canvas. So looking back, I was getting exactly what I was talking and feeling about. Those ideas had crystallized and had become beliefs. So I was getting exactly that, living from month to month, getting a job, and then in the back of my mind, knowing in my bones it's going to end, because I had created that feeling that it was going to end, and it did. And then later on, when my job stabilized, it stabilized to the point where I would stay there for just a few years, and then it would become unsteady again. So I was still manifesting that level of, elusive income, ups and downs. I was getting exactly what I want. So those are just 2 examples from my side. And Another example was a good one as well. So, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. I'll talk about it some more in another video. I'll break it down. When I was 24, I started getting epileptic attacks around 17 to the age of 24. And I was pregnant at the time, and I was diagnosed officially. And they told me, look, it's hereditary, etc., etc. And you can't drive, you can't do this, you can't do that, you've got to be on medication. And I was pregnant, I was a young mother, I was sitting there with my husband talking to the doctors, the neurological unit at this hospital. And I didn't know anything about the law of attraction. I was still very much into my family's religion, Christianity. I was still very much battling with those beliefs and everything that I'd grown up with. And it was just weird. I knew nothing. I hadn't read any of these books. That only happened later on in my late 20s. I was given conversations with God, actually. And when I was, I think it was around 30, 29, 30. But at 24, I didn't know any of this. I just had myself and whatever it was that made me, the real me. And as the doctor was talking, and as my husband was looking at me, and I was pregnant, heavily pregnant, and I just knew I'm not going to do that. I knew I'm not going to be on medication. I knew when the doctor walked out of here and I was walking with that packet of medication because I couldn't say no, I knew I wasn't going to take a single tablet. I knew I was not going to go down that road. I didn't have any rationale. I didn't have any explanation, but I just knew. And I got what I wanted. I've never had an attack. It's been 26 years almost. 26 years, yeah, my son is going to be, it's 26 years, and I've never had an attack. I've never thought about it. My family has forgotten the story. This is how I've manifested, guys. I've manifested so strongly all the time, 24/7. It's not a case, sorry, let me rephrase that. You don't manifest strongly. You manifest, period. There's no weak manifestation or strong manifestation. You are manifesting 24/7. There's no degree to it. The only degree to it is your vibration of whatever you're identifying with at that point in time, good or bad, inverted commas, right? So in my case, I'd identified with single motherhood for a long time, and I had gotten exactly that. I'd identified with retrenchment and the benefits, being furloughed, and I'd manifested that so strongly. Those were, I would call it, let's say, negatives. And in the positives, I had manifested I was not going to be epileptic anymore. I just wasn't going to go down that road, full stop, period. I just had conviction at the age of 24. And to the point where nobody in my family even talks about it. They don't even identify me with that anymore. So does that mean I'm a good manifestor or a bad manifestor? No, there's no such thing. We are all simply creators. It's a level playing field. That's hard for us to hear, given our life experiences, our childhood abuse, our circumstances at this point in time. It's hard for people to digest that, but it's true. Oh my gosh, the neighbors have stopped playing the music, and now something soft and lovely is playing. I had just thought about it and I'd let it go. So that shows you the power of what you have. You are the operant power. Neville Goddard, you are the operant power. Okay, so you are manifesting all the time. You're getting exactly what you want. Another example I'll give you is there was a relative that jumped in the car. I picked this person up and they jumped into the car yesterday, and they settled themselves into the passenger side, and I was driving and it was going well. And then they said, and the first thing they said was, oh my gosh, did you see the price of things going, the price of groceries? And I've been working on myself and my story, especially around money, for a long time. So I didn't actually respond. I just kept quiet. And they just carried on assuming that I was going to agree with them because it's a common conversation. Everybody talks like that. They were like, I went in, I bought a few things. Did you see the price of bread? Then I said, which is true. I promise you, this is true. And it's been true for a long time. I said, I don't know the price of bread. And they said, what? They were shocked. I said, I really don't know the price of bread. I don't pay attention to those things. I've had money, I've had millions, I've had no money, I've been without money, I've come close to losing everything, I have lost everything. So I've been there and back, and been there again and back again. So when I was down and out completely, at every point in time, I never paid attention to the price of bread and milk. I never paid attention to that. And they just kept quiet. My vibration immediately stopped them in their tracks, because I wasn't telling that story anymore. I wasn't wanting to create that, because I understand. I'm starting to really, it's all fitting together. I'm starting to understand. It's fallen into place a few times over the years, and it's gone helter-skelter, and it's scattered to the winds. And it's just starting to come together for me. I'm really understanding the power that we all have. It's incredible. We don't fully understand our power, of the story that we are telling. The story of humanity, the story of the apocalypse, the story of bad health, the story of your mother-in-law, the story of your boss, the story of, galaxies and universes. It's the same power behind it is the story of, what happened to you and how you're a victim of X, Y, Z. It's the same thing. So I was very aware of the story I was telling, and I just wasn't going to tell that story anymore about the economy and how things had shot up, and it just changed the dynamics of the car and the conversation with that person, because we immediately started reaching for better topics, reaching for better versions of ourselves. And it felt awesome. It felt awesome in the car. You could feel the energy shift, And I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful for that understanding, and I'm grateful for the light bulb moments. I'm grateful for living more in my six senses, if that helps. I'm living more and more through my six senses and not through my five senses. So what I want you to take out from this video is you are creating all the time. You're manifesting all the time. You're not a good manifester or a bad manifester. You're either a magician or you're not. You're either a miracle or you're not. There's no gray area in being pregnant. You're not half pregnant, So that's a good analogy to use, the pregnancy. No one is half pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not. So you are a manifester. You are a reality creator. You're getting everything that you desire. What you don't want, simply stop identifying with it. And I will do the stop identifying with it ways to do that, concrete ways, in another video. But I wanted to say to you, accept it all, even the things you don't want, because you've crystallized your belief to such an extent that the thing that you don't want has powerfully come back to you. So simply drop it and stay the course of where you do want to go, okay?